Have you ever wondered why intelligent, caring, and capable people sometimes find themselves repeating the same patterns? Why do some relationships seem to follow the same script, even when the people involved are different? Why do some workplaces repeatedly experience the same conflict despite changes in leadership? And why do we sometimes promise ourselves that this time things will be different, only to find ourselves making the same choices again? As a clinical psychologist, these are questions that have fascinated me for many years. I've come to realize that many of the answers we are looking for are not found in looking at people in isolation. They are found by understanding the systems, relationships, and experiences that have shaped them. This way of thinking has shaped not only my professional life, but also my personal journey. For many years, I searched for explanations by focusing on individuals. But over time, I discovered that people make more sense when we become curious about the context in which they live. We all belong to families, workplaces, communities, and cultures. Those systems influence how we think, how we communicate, how we lead, how we love, and even how we understand ourselves. That doesn't mean people are powerless. It means that meaningful change begins with awareness. When we begin to recognize the patterns around us and within us, we gain freedom to respond differently instead of simply reacting in familiar ways. This perspective has changed the way I work as a psychologist. It has changed the way I see leadership. It has changed the way I understand conflict, resilience, and growth. Most importantly, it has changed the way I understand my own life. That journey eventually became the foundation of my book, Through a Systemic Lens, a journey of light, presence, and becoming. As I was writing it, I realized that the story wasn't simply about becoming a psychologist. It was about understanding the systems that quietly shaped me long before I ever entered a consulting room. It began in places like Mudimola, where some of my earliest experiences taught me lessons I only understood years later. It continued through Munsiwa and Lumanyaning, where family, community, and culture became part of the story I was living, even when I didn't yet have the language to describe it. Then came St. Mary's, a place that challenged me, stretched me, and opened doors I could never have imagined. Looking back now, I realize that each of those places left fingerprints on the person I was becoming. Those are stories I'll be sharing over time, both here on this channel and in the pages of the book. Because if there's one thing I have learned, it is this: our lives make far more sense when we stop looking only at events and begin paying attention to the systems that shape them. Perhaps that's true for your story as well. Perhaps some of the questions you have been asking about yourself, your family, your relationships, or your work cannot be answered by looking at one person alone. Perhaps they begin to make sense when you step back and see the bigger picture. That's the invitation I'd like to leave with you today. The next time you feel stuck, before asking, "What's wrong with me?" or "What's wrong with them?" try asking a different question. What pattern am I seeing? What system am I part of? What might I not be noticing? Sometimes changing the question is the beginning of changing the story. I'm Lubone Raditladi. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. Until the next video, remember, see the system, understand the pattern, create meaningful change.